Like, I don't even care because I'm like, this person doesn't even know me, and I'm like, but it's like so random when people just like say those weird things.
Right. And we are live.
Woohoo!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I am Meryl Climo.
We have some incredible stuff to talk about today.
Oh my
Woo-hoo.
goodness gracious.
Um, I will actually let you go first, Meryl. This one should be interesting.
Okay, yay! I know mine is very music heavy today, but still very cool. Okay, but we're not doing music yet. We're going to do something super weird and like a little bit scary, where people are finding rubber fruit in their normal fruit. So this first started. It actually started a few weeks ago, but I didn't even think about us talking about it because it seemed to be like a one-off video that I saw where it started with a woman making like blueberries for her kids, or putting a bowl of blueberries in for her kids, and she noticed that a few of the blueberries were rubbery in texture, and she like pulled it apart and then put it underwater, and sure enough they were rubber, like they were rubber blueberries. And then all across the country people started seeing like watermelon that wouldn't snap, that kind of looked like rubbery. I saw it with people that had a peach that like, or no, sorry, like a little an apricot, and it was like it had no pit, like it basically was just a rubber apricot. And so they got it in a bag of other produce, and so people are just finding like rubber fruit, and like no one knows yet where this is coming from, if they're trying to like pull a fast one on us, or if it's just, I don't know, but it's like it's not actual fruit.
I mean, is it certain store? Because I read the article that you sent, and is it certain stores or just kind of random?
So far, I think there was one, I think the blueberry one, let's see, it doesn't see where she was, but no, I mean the ones that I saw, the Whole Foods one was the organic blueberries. And then I saw someone else saying that I think the apricot that they found was like in the Midwest at like an Aldi or something like that. So
Wow.
I've been seeing different ones, and then the watermelon one seemed like yeah, she just said there was a watermelon and a banana that the rind of it wouldn't break like how a normal one would, and then if you pull it apart it just is rubbery. And that to me is just so crazy. And it said it's the skin of the watermelon was dark green, almost if it was cellophane. It wasn't even like a real type of rind of it.
Wow.
So, I
That's
mean, some
actually
people are saying
scary.
that's what happens when you freeze fruit and then you unthawed out. It can be very rubbery, but the blueberry one was like a toy type of rubber, and I thought that's so weird.
Kind of scary too. I mean, there's been artificial food for years now. Even with the fish that you buy, um,
Mhm.
imitation crab meat, stuff like that. And then even in restaurants where I know there was a big thing going on about when you get crab cakes, it's not a real crab
Oh no,
cake.
I don't want to know what it is.
So it's kind of scary because it's like I get it, food's high, it's expensive, there's things going on in the chain, but I mean that's kind of taking it to a whole new low to try and put
Yeah, yeah, like,
fake
and
fruit like that.
yeah, and like what would have happened if her kids would have eaten like 5 rubber blueberry, that's like that she's so lucky that she caught that,
Mhm.
because other, like, and I definitely believe her. Some people were saying, "Oh, that's like you're trying to do insurance fraud, or you're basically trying to find a lawsuit." But like enough people were randomly showing their produce that I believe it. Not everyone's just trying to like get money from Whole Foods or anything.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's going to put their kids at risk to make money either.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I saw another one where it was the cheesy Doritos, like the red, the nacho cheese Doritos, and
Oh
someone
yes.
found like a super clump of cheese. Have you seen that video where like one girl is like, "What is this in my Doritos?" And it was this like, it is shaped like a rat, like covered in cheese. And some people were like, "Ma'am, that is a rat that that has fallen in." And then other people were like, "No, I guess it's just the cheese clumps in Doritos, and sometimes you just get like a weird freak chip, like a super chip, basically, that has like melded into one." But it happened to be, it was truly shaped like a rat and like covered in orange. And I'm like, I'm never eating Doritos again.
Wow. Well, you should always pay attention to what you eat. I know my dog. He, whenever I give him something, he always sniffs it before he eats it.
See, yeah, I wish we had that like innate sense. Basically, I mean, like, we're supposed to, but
So you look at a dog doing that, like, ah, that's kind of weird. But now with these stories, you're like, maybe they know
oh,
something we don't know.
I know. I can't. I stopped eating at restaurants for a few months last year when, and this is so gross, but like I was constantly finding other people's hair in my food. And
Oh,
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we were out to lunch and I was telling a friend about it. And as I was talking, there was like a blonde hair all around my glass. And I'm like, I told you, like, what is going on here? And I'm sure it wasn't my hair. It was all different lengths and like not mine. And
oh
I
my
found, I know. And it was like a 1 month period where like I found hairs 3 or 4 times. And then I stopped eating out of restaurants. And then I forgot about it. But I kind of started back up.
wow. Yeah, that would kind of gross me out too.
Yeah, yeah, that's like the grossest thing I could think of.
Ugh. Yeah, they need to start putting hair nets on if you're gonna wear
I
long hair.
know. So I guess the moral of this is check your blueberries, buy stuff at the farmers market. I don't know if I put it in here today. I don't think I did, but the recall for cucumbers too. I feel like I'm like a food expert today.
Oh,
Where
there's a recall for cucumbers now?
yeah, 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 different types of salmonella. So people are like, wherever you live, look at the situation. But I guess they've recalled like a whole bunch of different cucumbers, and there's supposed to be like 5 different strains of salmonella that they're finding.
Wow.
So
That'd be one thing I won't be eating for a while.
I know, which is so sad because I feel like just when you think you're doing a good thing by eating blueberries and cucumbers, you're eating like rubber disease.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I
we
know.
gotta be careful.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of being careful,
Hmm.
the U.S. Surgeon General, his name is Dr. Vivek Murthy, demands that cigarette light warnings be placed on social media.
I first of all, that's I love that person's name. What was it? Like Muffy?
It's actually it's Dr. Vivek. Uh, no, I'm sorry. Is it Murthy?
Oh, okay. Damn
Yeah.
it, I really wanted it to be Muffy.
Um, I mean, here's the thing. I get it. I actually kind of like that idea. The only problem is it's a warning. It doesn't really do anything, you know.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any teeth to it. I think legislation will probably go a much longer way, as far as with the algorithms, how they're done and stuff like that. I mean, what do you think about? Do you think putting a label is going to help in any way whatsoever?
I mean, I do in the way that I think the more we become aware of how social media is affecting us, I think it's just good to know. Like with the food stuff, like when I was in Mexico, on all of the packaging, they have like excessive calories. It's like written in Mexican or in Spanish, but like they have all of the warnings on the food and excessive sugar. And I have to say, it does like make you stop and think. At least you know what you're consuming. And I feel like the same for social media. That even if it's like after 3 hours of usage a day, if it pops up and just says like, hey, you could be giving yourself like a headache or eye strain or just popping up these things, um and especially like the emotional toll I know it takes on all of us, I think is good. Like I think we all know baseline that it's not the healthiest, but it's hard to like remember that every day when it's so ingrained in us. So,
True.
I'm a fan of it. And like, I'm also a fan of on Instagram, I have my hours, like I kind of go into nighttime mode at like 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I like the idea of all of us being able to take breaks.
Yeah, because I mean, once you're on social media, it tends to suck you in.
Hmm.
And next thing you know, if you're not careful, you'll literally be on there for hours.
So much, so much. I never used to feel bad about social media, but Instagram definitely. I think like moving to Los Angeles and just seeing like all the events that some people are at, and like sometimes it makes me feel like, oh, it's not enough or whatever. But then I feel like I'm someone that people have told me that they've looked at my stuff and felt that way. I'm like, that's crazy. And so um I think it's good for all of us to be in reality more. And I think we've
I,
talked about this too, that like I get so sensitive and sad when people unfollow me, and I really, really take it like sadly and personally, and I've had to really like work it out and not go so crazy with it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can get sucked in if you're not careful. You really can. And I just think it's one of those things where, if it prevents one child from, going down a dark hole, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. What do you think the which social media like sucks you in the most that you kind of get stuck in?
I would say out of all of them, I would say TikTok probably the most
Yeah.
because once you start looking at posts, and then if you go in and start looking at lives, you can start flicking through looking at the different lives, and some of them are like kind of crazy, but it kind of sucks you in. It's almost like a car crash where you want to
Yeah.
turn away but you can't.
Yes, yes. There's one creator that my boyfriend watches, and it's just a man like singing in his living room with like lights flashing and no one's there. And he constantly Jack constantly shows it to me. I'm like, I don't need to see this person. Like, why are you watching this man like singing in his bedroom in his living room? So I'm like, is it like he's at least doing something? You're the one watching him. Like that's so weird. And so, um,
And he
yeah.
probably has a lot of people watching him too.
Yeah, he does. I think the man might have some mental health or not or developmental issues. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't really need to see that happening. But don't you feel a little bit calmer on like on TikTok? I actually feel more peaceful because I don't know the people. They're all strangers. And I like that better than seeing like people I know on Instagram.
That's true. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. I mean, like I said, I would say it's better than nothing. I think they should give it a try and see what happens. At least it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah. I think they should also there should be something where if you get reported for like real hate speech a certain number of times, you really really should like lose your like I don't know, something your VPN should be able to not be hooked up. I don't know, something because I just can't believe how mean people are and like they could just get away with it and even if it's to big creators that still should not be an excuse to just like spew hate at people.
Oh, I agree. And you have what I call them keyboard bullies. In other
Yeah.
words, they'll say a lot of stuff behind the keyboard, but will never ever say those things to your face.
Right, right. Yes. So yeah, I think that's interesting. I only go on TikTok live to see anything from the Elrod network. That's all I care about.
Well, let's keep an eye on that. It'll be interesting. Hopefully, that's a stepping stone into something else.
Yeah, yeah, overall. I can't even imagine what all the things they're going to say physically and emotionally, how it affects us, like being on our phone 24/7, because
True.
we already are there.
That is true.
Um, okay, let's see. Now that I'm going back to my phone to look. Ooh, okay, this is a good one. Okay, so datingnews.com surveyed 3,000 single women to find out where standards are highest and lowest across the country when it comes to dating.
Mhm.
And basically, they found that this is shocking, but California women from California had the highest dating standards when it comes to looks and money. 37% of women said they would only be prepared to date guys with huge salaries and model or part-time model looks, which is like I'm reporting live here from California. I hate to tell you, but I rarely see one of those walking down the street. um New York is not very surprising, but like substantial income is the most important quality in New York that women said. And then in Alaska, just 5% of women said they care really about these high standards and they have a more inclusive approach. And then 86% of respondents said they would date a man who or that said that they would date a man who rents rather than owns his home, which totally like that's understandable. Um, and 80% of women are open to dating a man without a college degree, which I think is wonderful because, like, many jobs and, you know, a lot of non traditional jobs don't require you to go to college. So I
Mhm.
think that's great. So, yeah, they said the last thing. Okay, so in ranking, the women ranked these things as most important. Number one, a great personality. Number two, a substantial salary. Number three, good looks. Number four, living in an expensive property. And number 5, having their own Wikipedia page. Which, like, I don't care. I care about like one of those things, maybe that's like a personality, but yeah.
I would say the Wikipedia page was probably the surprise for me.
Right? I know, because a lot of people that like are murderers have Wikipedia pages, and
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. But you know the sad part, it does prove my point though. I always said this is the more money you have for some women, the less your looks matter. Meaning that
absolutely.
you can look like the bottom of a dirty shoe if you have the right bank account. A lot of women, not all, but a lot of women will overlook that.
Yeah, and chances are you could have more power that way. Because if you're really, really good looking, but you really have no power, then you, like, can't get into any clubs and, like, it's not Zoolander nowadays, especially with men. I think women that are, like, traditionally good looking have a little bit more power in society, but, like, a very good looking man, that's wonderful for him, but he's not about to get into, like, Harvard based on that, and, and money can kinda get you more of the like networking type things, I think.
That's true. I would just warn women that be careful when going after guys with money because if a guy feels that all you care about is money, most guys can see that a mile away, and you may
Yeah.
attract a guy that you really don't want to be with.
Right. Yes. And I feel like money can come and go and you never know. Like I've had friends that were very wealthy, but then they lost, a lot of it in the recession and vice versa. And then other side of where like people that kind of struggled and lived with their parents and now they're like rich and famous and stuff. So I feel like
Mhm.
it like, you're never with the same type of partner the whole time. So
That's so true. You never know what life's going to do for you. So, obviously, if you get into a relationship or marriage or whatever, you got to be able to weather the storm. The good
yeah.
days, days.
Yep, yep. I feel like also, especially a lot of women, like I have a wonderful dad that I love so much, and I feel like that helped me like try to choose good partners. And I think seeing like it doesn't have to be like that, but I think that helps when you see like a good person modeled for you, and so I think
Oh,
that helps a lot.
oh, absolutely. I mean, it's always good to have someone as a role model or someone to look up to, especially when you're talking about trying to find that perfect match for you. So I commend that
I
totally.
know, but I would still wish my boyfriend was a billionaire. I'm not gonna lie. Except I still make me every now and then if we rent a movie, he'll like ask me to Venmo him $4 or something, and I'm like, "What? If you're a billionaire, are you really gonna be that like that cheap?" But then I have to admit, like, I don't know if how your relationship is too, but but my boyfriend's the more consistent one with money. Like we've been on trips where I like talk a big game and then I'll book us at a luxury hotel, and then on like the third night I run out of money. and then he always consistently nicely has money, but I feel like I'm more like showy up and down.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, like when I go on vacation, I'm like, we're on vacation. Don't worry about money. No, 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 no. We have to. I said, no, we're on vacation. Don't worry about it.
Oh, see, that's so nice. That's so nice. Yeah, I
You
still have to Venmo my boyfriend back $8 from like a shrimp cocktail from a trip in like 1999 that we went on.
yeah, I mean, I figure once we get back home, we can cry about the money. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're like this is the Excel spreadsheet that.
There you go.
um. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a good thing, and a lot of women also said they would really like a man to have his own private plane, which is just ridiculous. I mean, of course, but I also don't feel like I would want a man to like. I feel like private planes crash a lot, and I'm not into that. So, you know, I don't. That's not a thing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I saw someone make a comment, and it's so true. And it was actually David Mann. David Mann, I don't know if you know him or not, but he was on
No.
Meet the Browns. He's in a lot of Tyler Perry productions.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So basically, he said, "Okay, women, here's what you do: make a list of everything you want in a man, everything, looks, this, money, whatever. Okay, now all that big list that you have, you be those things.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
And some people don't know what he means when he says that.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like it's like, why would I want a man to have a Wikipedia page? Like I would, then don't you want one? If that's important to you, basically, like having
Hmm.
like being with someone, absolutely. And I've heard of that too about sometimes like the people that break our hearts the most, it's because we actually like want to be like in taking their characteristics of like I always think about the people that I love so much and that I'm not with. I'm kind of like, okay, what did I love about them that I wanted to embody for myself so much, you know? And so I think that is so good. That's so true.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it makes sense because you attract what you are.
Yeah. Yep, yep, and it's like, oh, if you want a man to be or anyone, if you want your partner to be so famous or well connected or good with money, it's like that's because you want that for yourself.
That's true.
We just
That's so,
figured out the world. We're gonna start our own dating consulting business here.
hey, that stuff makes money. I'm in.
Yeah, that would be so cool. You could have like practical advice, and I'll just say like go to France, you know.
Now, actually, this goes into our next topic, which was crazy. Um, for a lot of people out there, a lot of people love watching 50 Cent's different productions, especially Power Book 2. The young man who plays Tyreek on there, his name is Michael Rainey Jr. He was actually doing a live stream with a friend of his, and his friend's older sister, I'll say this very gently,
Mhm.
grabbed them where the sun don't shine between his
Yeah.
legs.
Yep.
And
Whew.
she did it not only in front of her brother, but there were also kids in front of them during it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Michael, kind of pushed her away. He kind of played it off because again, it was on a live stream.
Right.
You see that he was very, very surprised at it. And there's been a lot of talk, about this is wrong. He should press charges and this and that. And I'd like to get your view on this because for me, if he were to do that, his career would be over
Oh,
just that. And he's
definitely.
charged. And I don't know. I just think it's double standards that most women think that, well, you can't do this to me, but I could do that to you. I don't think that's right. I mean, what do you think about it?
That I mean, it seems so layered. I watched it. I was able to see the video right before this because at first I was thinking, oh, was she like playfully? You know, if you have a sibling, you're like
Mhm.
snapping a towel at someone or like punching them, or like I thought maybe it would be like that, but it was not. It seems very odd. Like she's continually trying to grab him, and at one point you could even tell that he nicely is like almost covering himself and like moving away, and you could tell a few times he tries to just like not make a big deal out of it because I think if it was more playful, he would like put her in a headlock or do something more
Mhm.
playful back to her. And then it seems super weird, of course, like not only that that happened, but that there was kids and a lot of other people, and like I
Mhm.
don't know their relationship, but I agree that that just seems very inappropriate. And like the fact that he had to come on his page and say like, that was weird. I don't even know what to say. That's probably a lot for him to try to. I'm sure he loves his sister too, so like he probably doesn't want to drag her completely down and have the whole world hate her. But at the same time, you're right. Like if he was doing that to anyone on live, it would be like, yeah, his career would be over. That's like all he would be known for.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's very weird. I don't. It's hard to know because I don't know the relationship that they've had or like what the dynamic is. But it seems very weird. And then I saw at one point they throw her out of the live stream, like they kind of throw her out and like lock the door, and you could tell they're being funny, but it's like no, really, stay away.
Mhm. I mean, I know he has a girlfriend, and besides the girlfriend, this guy is a celebrity. Okay,
Yeah.
he has a big show and everything like that, and I don't know. It's a weird situation because obviously you can tell by his reaction he did not expect that to happen.
Yeah.
I think that under the circumstances, I think he did a great job as far as keeping his composure.
Yes.
Because some people could have easily been like, "Hey, get the f up off me! What are you doing?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and like it's hard for me to. I mean, I understand siblings dynamics is not like that is not what people do, but I also don't know if like they're playful like that, and she just didn't get the memo. But yeah, she didn't. It didn't really seem under like a playful thing.
But don't you think it's a little disrespectful that she's grabbing her brother's friend between the legs, though. To me,
Yeah.
I would think that that would be totally disrespectful, you know?
Absolutely. Yes, beyond. And yeah, he could have just been like, what are you doing? But instead he really tried to, I think, be like kind and almost just like, this is not happening. And then you could see it escalate and get worse.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know if he's going to do anything. I know allegedly he may be, taking a look at all of his legal options. Because the one thing as an actor, he's attained a type of money and stardom that a lot of actors, unfortunately, in their whole career never get.
Yeah,
So, they're going to be very cautious about what happens to them and around them. So,
definitely.
we'll see if this dies off or if, he takes legal action. But to me, that's just stupid. It's just
I
outright stupid.
know. I almost hope for like the little kid's sake in the video too that whatever happens, the video kind of dies down really quickly, and that they just handle it like adult wise because that's sad for the two little kids to then be like replayed over and over and like in this whole jumble of a mess too.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious what you think. What if he decides, and we don't know, obviously.
Right.
What if he decides that he wants to press charges? What do you think? You
Um
think he'd be wrong for that?
I know it's hard to know. I don't think he. I mean, if is really doing it because he feels violated, like I don't feel like he's wrong for that. Like I think everyone deserves justice. Like to kind of pursue how they want to. Like I think that to me that is right. Um, I almost yeah no. I mean, I guess that's my answer is like no. I think everyone should have the right to like do that if they feel like violated.
Hmm. Yeah. If I was a betting man, I would say he's probably not going to go around them for a while.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think so either. I know. And
So,
it's so hard for me because it's not hard for me, but I like it's hard to know when you're watching the video kind of what is like just being annoying and kind of like grabbing someone and I mean that's ridiculous. You don't just grab them that anywhere, but it's like I don't know people's dynamics. I don't know like what has happened. So I think it's hard. I think that would be tough in a court too to like uh to prove it just based on like a couple seconds of
mhm,
footage.
yeah. Like I said, it was a shocking video, but like I said, I think he would be probably wise to maybe
I
kind of
bet
stay away.
he'll drop it.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. I bet the sister's probably like humiliated and everyone is like probably very humiliated and embarrassed and mad at each other and I bet everyone wants it to just like go away.
Yeah, and I'm quite sure some people may have, pulled her aside and talked to her, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and just been like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. I wonder if also like being live almost just made her be like, I know this person, it's almost like mine, like my that was almost a feeling that I got of watching it too. It's like claiming your territory almost, of this feeling, which is not right at all. And like whether or not that deserves legal pursuings, who knows? Like that's not my place, but I think he has a right to say like how it made him feel and vice versa.
I guess probably to end this off, I'm just so surprised at how comfortable she was doing that and being so aggressive with it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Over and over, especially when he was giving her the signs like, please don't do this. And, it's
So
also sad that we, in our society, we can't just like immediately shout out and be like, what are you doing? Get off of me. And like, I mean, we can, but it's almost like you could see him being uncomfortable and not knowing what to do.
yeah, and the thing is, being a big star has its rewards, but there's also its drawbacks because in his mind he's probably thinking, okay, how do I handle this to where I don't, kind of blow up my career at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's doing it right where it was just like one statement of kind of like he responded to it really quickly and he didn't let it like fester
Yes.
and burn up. And I think that was a really good, like he responded right away and just said, this is, and he even acknowledged like, this is weird. And everyone's seen it at this point. And he kind of acknowledged like, it's out in the world now. I don't even know what to say about it, but like, we're going to move on. And I feel like to me, there wouldn't be much more of it if he's saying like, I want to move on with this.
Yeah, kudos to him for getting out ahead of it, though. I agree with you.
Yeah. Yes, because this is the kind of thing that not saying anything for weeks, then it would go on at like red carpet events and then it almost builds. But I feel like whoever his PR team is, or whoever, maybe it's him deciding to do it. I think that's a good thing.
I agree. I agree.
Woo! And he didn't even defend. He didn't like say a million excuses of why it happened, or he didn't. I don't think he like over dramatized it on his end or on anyone else's end. Like he just kind of came out with it. I think it was a great statement.
I agree. I agree.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, speaking of statements, this is an interesting one. We're gonna get into like music on my end a little bit because fans are accusing Taylor Swift, our girl Taylor Swift, of intentionally blocking Charlie XCX from a number one debut. Um, so okay, so like Charlie XCX, who an artist who does a lot of like electronic kind of club hits, who I like a lot, but whatever. She has a new album out called Brat, but it's going to be now coming in at number two on the UK album charts because Taylor put out another variant of the Tortured Poets Department, which will now spend a 6 week atop the charts. So people feel all different types of ways about this. Basically, like a lot, I think half the people feel like it's awful that she's putting out just like these kind of like extra songs. Now it's Taylor playing the guitar. Like it's like the 30th release of it, and we don't need one. And it was clearly like a gameplay because it was the UK only, and it was pretty much only during the time that the charts mattered. So some people said, well, what if this was just her normal album release schedule? And it's like, that would be very weird if she's strategically planning on like one country here and there at the same time
Hmm.
as like other artists climbing the charts. She did the same thing when Billie Eilish's Hit Me Hard and Soft album came out as well. She released another variant at that time. So also it is kind to me it's greedy and like a little bit unnecessary to keep on putting out album after or like just weird variants of your album, but at the same time I could see the point where at this point in her career like Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish like kind of don't even matter at this point, and Taylor's almost competing with like the charts of Elvis and the Beatles and Michael Jackson. Like a lot of her like peers aren't even they're not even in her league anymore. So like it's kind of like who cares like how if she's doing this, she's almost doing it for like I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't know. You can tell me your thoughts.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, I think she's trying to milk up as much as possible in this short period of time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a lot of tricks. Especially being I have a son that's in the music industry. There's a lot of tricks that go on behind the scenes that most people are aware of. Whether or not she intentionally um, tried to tried to block or maybe kind of sabotage this other artist, we'll never know. But it's not far from reality based on the way this industry works.
Right. And I feel like the Taylor that I know that I think or that we think we know who has been right whether it's like for PR or not, I think she's really, really generous in a lot of ways. I know she has the whole plane thing that she kind of does all the waste with the planes, but I've also heard so many stories about her like providing food banks at concerts and just tipping really well. And I feel like there's so much that goes on behind the scenes of her donating that we don't know about. And it's like the Taylor that I believe in would give away like the seventh version of an acoustic song to everyone, or like she seems like the kind of artist that she knows she's doing so well and she's like set for life that she can just give away some of her music, like her, not the main album, but like the tracks of her sneezing into the microphone or something. Like those can be more of a thing. But I understand because at a certain point it just gets to be like, well, sorry Charlie XCX, but like Taylor just is so in the number one spot, and she's just it's not about the other people, it's about like Taylor keeping her own number one spot. That's a little gross to me, but it is just like I guess the game she's playing.
Yeah, and in all honesty, if if you have good people around you, you can kind of play off that too. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, hey, Big Taylor Swift is afraid of my record. Take a listen to see if she should be afraid of it. There's ways to spin
Oh
it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, it's the fans. Like everyone in the UK can decide to not care about the 19th version of Taylor's like fourth song. So it would actually be really cool if like those fans for a minute just realized what she was doing and everyone bought Charlie XCX's record and it kind of
Mhm.
backfired on her. So like Taylor can only do so much, but it has to be the fans buying it to make it go to the charts. So I think like the people are speaking and so um I don't know, it's a little weird to if you love your fans so much to ask that they buy like 19 different versions of things.
That's true. That's true. And some people get a little burnt out about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it says I do think too like they call it Swift fatigue. It's so funny where some people are like people feel that the Tortured Poets album is already a little snoozy and like not that great of an album, and now when you have like 30 versions of it.
Yeah. That gets a little old after a while.
Yeah, yeah, and it's this weird thing now. I even saw it with Billie Eilish's album where there's like a red version, a blue version. I'm like, do we need like just can you put out one good album? And I don't think we need like 19 different versions.
Exactly. I mean, I remember back in the day, you'll hear someone do their own version of your song, or maybe an artist will put out a remix of their song. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hope that these constant remakes of the same song don't become a thing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because I
Especially in this economy too. Like,
oh, exactly, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of great songs I love over the years and stuff, and I don't really want to hear all those songs, I don't know, 9, 10, 12 different times.
right. I love like a on tapes when they used to have her CDs like a hidden track. Like
Oh,
I always feel like those are some of the best songs on albums is like one or two of the hidden tracks, or if there's like later on like a I don't know, like an EP of songs that didn't come out, like the kind of scrapped albums. I
mhm.
love that. Like I think that would be so cool if Taylor put out like once a year, like four songs that just never made it into any CDs. I feel like that is something worthy, but this is just weird. It's so funny. I feel like for every like eight things that Taylor Swift does that's great, there's like three really embarrassing, cringy things that just set her back so much.
I hear you talking about embarrassing and creepy things.
yes.
Hear about what happened to Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
And in case anyone hasn't heard, for whatever reason, Justin Timberlake was arrested for drunk driving this week.
Yeah.
Basically, the authorities said that he ran a stop sign, and when they pulled him over, um, he actually smelled of liquor. This is not a good sign when a cop can smell you or even. And he was booked on drunk driving. He was booked. The one thing I never understood, and maybe it's me, why do people smile for mugshots? I don't think that's a great moment to be smiling. Or is it?
Really? See, I don't know. I feel like if I was a celebrity, it's almost, or not even, I don't know, it's almost like it's going to go viral. So it's like, why not almost just make it an extra headshot?
Yes, that's true. That's true.
you
That's true.
know?
Because I've seen some rough ones too on the opposite end too.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like on this one, he probably knows, okay, he has the money to get out of it. It's gonna go somewhat viral. So I feel like it's like, why not make it somewhat of an opportunity? But yeah, I've seen some crazy ones. I feel like Winona Ryder has like a really bad one. Um, and I feel like there's some like Pamela Anderson ones or like Heather Locklear ones that I've seen that are like, oh man.
I remember those. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the funniest video though. Someone made a video of like Justin Timberlake when the police ask him to walk a straight line, and then it's a video of him dancing on stage.
That's a good video. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, yeah, it's very funny. But I think at first, and he said he only had one martini, like that was his story originally, is that I only had one. And then they said they found like I think he had way more. Obviously, like to me, driving under the influence is just so bad and selfish of a thing because you could hurt other people. He has kids. It just is like even if you're a cool celebrity, like that is not a cool thing to do because you could just put so many people at risk.
The real sad part about this story is, Justin Timberlake has money. He's rich.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he can hire a driver.
Right.
I get it. You may not want to do Uber or Lyft because you're a big star. I get all that. but you can get you a car SUV to take you home. Okay,
100%. Yeah.
you have the resources.
Yes.
And to me, whoever you're with, I don't know. To me, a good friend is gonna be like, look, you're a big star. Obviously been drinking too much. Why don't you call you a car and have
Yeah.
someone take, you know?
Right. And he knows that if he does get pulled over or like knocks into a curb or something, it's going to be a million times worse. He
Yep.
Justin Timberlake really does like whoever his PR person is gets no sleep too because he's constantly like doesn't have the best reputation for he's been a lot of cheating stuff with Jessica Biel and it's just like he's constantly like it not in good like public favor, I think.
Yeah, that PR person is earning their money.
Yeah, they're not sleeping. I could picture her in the middle of the night, like, "What?" And then I think of all the other people from NSYNC, and they're like such sweet. They're probably not actually in real life, but in my mind, they're like sweet little angels. But yeah, I mean that's crazy, and I wonder if he'll get off the hook for anything because of his. I didn't even see if there's like a bail or if he had to go to jail for a night. I think he got booked, right? Like,
He got booked, but I think he was released without having to post bail. Because being that he's a big star, I don't think he's ever been charged with DUI before. Because I'm quite sure we'd hear about it because he is a star.
yeah,
So, you know, obviously, like you said, he got the resources. This is probably his first offense, so you know, at most he may get a little slap on the hand, have to pay a bunch of money.
ugh.
Um, they may even make him do, public service because of
Oh
who he.
yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think as long as he doesn't do anything else stupid, he should be okay.
Yeah. I wonder if I don't know what the limit is for DUI. Do you know or is it the same in every like is it across the board like a point 8 or something, point 2? I don't even know what it is.
I know it varies from state to state. I know where I
Oh,
live in
really?
Illinois, it's zero point 0.08.
Okay.
Um, but the caveat is if you have a CDL, which is a commercial driver's license, it's half of that is zero point zero 0.04.
Oh, interesting. And I wonder what for like an average sized man, I wonder what a like one martini would do it. I mean, I know it's probably different for everyone's metabolism and everyone's, but I wonder, like, for Justin, like, what one martini really would equal, if it wouldn't even be close to that or not.
If it's true what they said, how they found them, I think it's more than one martini.
Yeah, I definitely do too. I definitely do. But I wonder if cops would just be like, that's not even possible for you, like almost being saying, like, we know it is, you just didn't have one martini. Cause like that would maybe, I wonder what the average blood alcohol level would be for like one cocktail kind of drink.
True, true. Now I know it does, like you say, depending on metabolism, the size of the person and stuff, all that does, play into effect. I remember, do you remember Andre the Giant?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember watching a couple of documentaries about him, and because he was so large, he literally had to drink a pint of vodka just to, feel anything because he was such a big guy.
Really?
Yeah. So like, if he had like a few shots or a few glasses of vodka or whatever straight, it wouldn't do anything for him because of his massive size.
Oh.
Which,
Oh,
if you think about it, kind of makes sense because he's huge.
yeah. But I
But
don't know, Justin. I feel like Jessica Biel is always like rolling her. She is so unproblematic, and I feel like he's in the news every day, like embarrassing her, cheating on her, drunk driving. I feel like she'd be is like, what are you doing now? And the fact that it was just Father's Day and they did this like kind of sappy post for him, and then now everyone was commenting under it, saying like that's how you honor being a dad is by going out and like drunk driving.
yeah, I'm just glad he didn't hurt himself, but more importantly, he didn't hurt anyone else.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, the least problematic person ever, Flava Flav. Flavor Flav officially teams up with Red Lobster after attempting to save the bankrupt media or bankrupt chain on social media. Flavor Flav went viral for ordering the entire Red Lobster menu at one location, and now this is so funny. He's helping the chain promote Crab Fest. So we heard before that Red Lobster was filing bankruptcy all around different locations. Obviously, they need like a push for just to not completely close. And Flava Flav revealed that he ordered the whole menu and just tried to like show his enthusiasm. And I just think that is so funny to me. For the record, if anyone's wondering, at Crab Fest, you can order a full pound of steamed wild caught crab legs, and yeah, it's not unlimited though, the way that the shrimp was. So
Mhm.
now I'm really hungry.
I mean, you know what? It's worth seeing if it works. Um, the thing that was surprising to me is that when they started going into financial problem, they still promoted the all you can eat shrimp for a while.
I know, I know.
And it's like you see the commercial, be like, wait a minute, didn't you guys go into bankruptcy because of this promotion?
Yeah. So I was going to ask, if you had to use your stature to save one restaurant or save like a couple of restaurants, which ones would you go to bat for? Like if they were closing?
Ooh. See, some of mine are kind of weird. Like for example, one of my favorite places to go to, and for whatever reason, a lot of them have shut down. They're still open. Boston Market. I love Boston
Oh
Market.
yeah. The like chicken and sides there were so good. I feel like the mac
Hmm.
and cheese there was really, really, really good too.
Yes, yes, I love that place. I know some people it may not be their cup of tea, but I love it. I mean, it's healthy.
Yeah.
It's quick. You know, and it's kind of like a cheap, a cheap home style cooking for
Yeah.
lunch. If you
Yes.
got lunch, because one of my biggest pet peeves is when you're working in the office all day and you want to go grab something to eat, there is nothing healthy out there to grab.
Right, right. It's
And
all fast food.
oh yeah, all fast food. And the crazy thing is, fast food is so expensive that you might as well go ahead and eat healthy if you can.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
I
it
would say that would be probably the first one on my list. What about you?
but oh my gosh, well, I'm a Red Lobster girl, so I'd be with Flava Flav at Crab Fest. But
There you go.
it's also funny with like, I mean, this Flava Flav would embrace this, but the thought of him promoting like Crab Fest, it's just like I don't know. I don't want to think of Flava Flav and crabs. It's just, but I was thinking about this, and there was, I don't know if it's by you, but there's a chain called Checkers, like
Yeah.
Checkers Burgers, and
Mhm.
I don't understand what happened. I feel like I jumped reality timelines because what back home in Pennsylvania we had a Checkers, and it was like so cute, and they had little banana fritters and milkshakes, and I felt like it was really like home style fast food, but like good burgers. And then out here they're always like in Walmarts and really bad, and I'm like, where's the good Checkers? So I feel like I'd go to bat for Checkers, but the one that I had like in the 1990s back home.
Yeah, I hear you. Check is very good. I think we may have like a handful of those left in the area.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. And they're always ours are inside Walmarts, which is like I don't know. I don't really want to like go get my food in a Walmart and come out.
yeah, yeah, I hear you. But like I said, I think they have the right person, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
actually, the funny thing is, I know the perfect commercial if they're watching. Flavor Fave comes up there, he's sitting there, he's laughing, having a good time, be like, man, y'all, guess what? I got crabs. And then of course, people are like, what? What the? Yeah, see, right here. And then it pans down to the
Yes. Oh,
crab.
that'd be so good.
That
And
will be
he has like
awesome.
8 girls on every side with him and everything. Yes.
That will be an awesome commercial.
See, we need to do it too. Ad agency. That would be perfect. And like Red Lobster, people would like that.
Oh yeah, because here's the thing: when you hear that, you will literally stop your tracks to see what the what.
Yeah, yeah. I think I love that, and I also think Red Lobster needs to push the fact that their seafood and lobster is good. Because what I hear about from everyone is like everyone loves the biscuits. We all know that. That's like, but they almost need to do a campaign of like we also have lobster, because it's like we've gotten so far away from the plot of lobster, and I think I've heard a lot of younger people saying like, is their seafood actually good? I can't trust them with like fresh seafood. So I feel like they need to really like hammer home that messaging that it is fresh and like a good place to eat seafood.
That's true. And you know what? I think Flavor Flav could help them with that. If they put together a real good marketing campaign, I think Flavor Flav could help them.
I do too. I definitely do too.
Mhm.
Well, now
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
I can't wait to see those commercials though.
I know.
Actually, I know we were talking about Taylor Swift. Um, did you hear about the shattering of having fun and setting off the earthquake monitor over in Scotland?
I didn't. I was too busy hating on her about the album release. I missed the other. I missed the earthquake.
Well, I guess there were 73,000 fans over in Scotland, and they were jumping up and down so hard that they actually set off the earthquake monitors.
Oh my gosh!
And they felt it miles away.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like, wow. I mean, to even know that, because it's like, okay, I mean, it's kind of cool on one hand, but on the other hand, you're thinking, okay, hopefully that building holds up because that's not a good thing. But
Yeah. I wonder if that really could cause, like the butterfly effect where how it's like this
yeah,
happens and then these tectonic plates shift and then it's like that would be of course Taylor Swift would like set off an earth event, I'm sure. Like a
it'd be one hell of a marketing campaign, though.
whoa. So did they know right away that it wasn't an actual earthquake and that it was just her? Or
Hmm.
like her concert? They did? Okay.
Yeah, because they zeroed in on where it came from, so that's how they knew it was from her concert.
There's just a bunch of Swifties wearing like friendship bracelets.
Yeah, I'm quite sure she's probably gonna make a record about that pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely. That will be out for her 19th release. As soon as like Selena Gomez is ready to hit the charts, Taylor will masterfully side rail it, I'm sure. Oh, which goes into okay, I think let me see if I picked the one next. Oh, yes. Okay, this is perfect because someone that I feel like their release needs to be blocked is Katy Perry. So which is like it's funny with all this kind of Taylor versus Charlie and all these things. It's fun when everyone turns their attention and like strongly as a whole just dislike something. And so as much as I feel bad, sometimes it is fun to hate on something and like Katy Perry's already like just weird and a little bit snotty enough to me that I'm not sad about her getting this kind of backlash. Basically Katy Perry's comeback song, labeled as the worst thing fans have ever heard, as terrible Woman's World, leaks before release. She had a song come out called Woman's World that a snippet was leaked on Monday, and it was as if like, and I mean, whatever. Every person's beautiful, but I'm showing you her like release, and just like her marketing already. She's just kind of looks like not there as a human being. Um, and people were mad. They said that it was almost like an AI bot wrote the song because it is just like women, confident, intelligent, soft, and it's like giving us nothing basically. And so people are saying that it's like regressed, and in this land of we have like these wonderful women that are writing these fantastic songs and even like fun songs, but they still have some type of layer to them. It just is like kind of cringy material that Katie came out with, and it really is kind of it falls under the like give us nothing category. So um I don't know how she feels about it. I read a few stories that she was very upset that the label wanted this to be the first song, and like she knew that it wasn't going to do well, and she kind of like maybe released it to like show the label like, hey, people are going to hate this. Um, I think the song was also done with Dr. Luke, who is not very popular because he's part of like the Kesha. I think he's, so it's just very weird. But some of her, I'm trying to find a photo too. Like the album announcement is just her looking like a weird robot where it just, I mean, she looks beautiful. Like she looks in great shape and everything, but it looks like a manufactured Barbie doll. Like this doesn't really look like an actual Katy Perry?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bad thing when the artist and the label doesn't see eye to eye on something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of times, and I get it, it's a business. I get all that. But you really need to listen to the artist because they're going to understand their craft, and also they're going to understand their fans way more, to me, a lot better than any record label can, in my opinion.
Yes. Definitely. And I think especially with someone like Katy Perry, now we're all about blending. Like, I think Taylor Swift does so well because we all feel like we know Taylor and like,
Mhm.
we know about her. And I think Katy Perry is one of those people that I never quite got a grasp on like who she really is. And she's very quirky, and I think the first couple of years maybe I'm like, okay, she used to be more of like a church singer, now she's this type of person. But her, in terms of her personality, like I feel like not a lot of people don't know about her, and we feel like we can't really like dig into who she is. And I feel like the album for her this year would have been to show that, because that's what people really want, like. And so I feel like the Billie Eilishes and the Adeles and everyone that does so well now all has that, where like they're very transparent about like who they are as a human.
Hmm.
And for
Yeah.
Katie to come out like looking like a weird like robot doll, it's just kind of weird.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, you want your fan to connect with you, and you know, maybe just maybe the record label is kind of looking like, okay, next time we're going to listen to you a little bit more, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, this is the situation where if Katie's album starts to do well, then I'll be like, Taylor, don't you have like an acoustic version where you're playing the xylophone of your album or something?
that's true. But
I
like
feel
I
like you're
said,
so sweet. You don't want to hate on Katy Perry the way that I do. You're so sweet. You're so nice. You really are so nice.
I like everyone. What can I say?
You do. You're so nice. I could even tell when you're like, well, there may be some disagreements, and I'm just like, that bitch.
But actually, speaking of disagreements, this goes into our final subject today. Did you happen to see the video of the man who came up on stage and pushed the superintendent away, who happens to be a black man, so he would not shake the hand of his daughter at her graduation?
No. So the
Yep,
superintendent wouldn't shake the hand of the daughter?
yep. So
And
basically,
this was a white man and a white daughter?
yes. So her father came up on stage, and when you get your diploma, obviously, there's someone that you shake the hand that gives you a diploma.
Yeah.
Then the superintendent is always there, either a second or third person. But you shake their hand, standard for any graduation.
Yes.
And the father went up there and literally pushed him out of the way. And you can hear them like, "Hey, man, what are you doing? Get your hands off!"
Yeah.
And then seconds later, a bunch of people jumped up as well. And a lot of people are saying that it was racially motivated.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
the father said, well, he did that because he felt like his daughter was being bullied in school. I personally don't believe that.
Right.
And
And
I
didn't you
think
feel like the superintendent didn't do anything about his daughter being bullied? Is that
I don't know if that's what he felt, but I just felt that it was his race because, again, it's not your day. You know,
right?
this is something, there's certain milestones in life that everyone goes through. High school graduation is one of those major milestones that you hit.
Yes.
And this young girl, well, or woman, depending on her age, she's gonna remember my dad jumping up,
Oh
embarrassing
my
him on
gosh.
stage,
That would
pushing the
be the worst
superintendent,
thing.
you know.
And like, why is the dad involved? It's like, let her shake everyone's hand nicely how you're supposed to. Like, now you're making it so much weirder. And if it
Mhm.
is racially motivated, like then they should like move and don't go to that school. Like then you're not allowed to get any benefits whatsoever. Then you should be like banished. And to me, like he should be like, I don't know, and not in jail, but I don't know, like totally ashamed. And it just that is just so awful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he got charged. I know the police did take him. He was taken to the police.
Really?
Yeah, but
Good.
but the thing I don't understand, and it just blows me away, is you pick graduation to do this nonsense.
Right. Yes. And I really can't believe this still happens in like 2024. I feel like there's just so much other good stuff for all of us to be focusing on and like moving through and working together on it. People like that are just, I can't even believe like what world they're living in.
And I think the one thing that when parents do stuff like that, they don't understand that once you step out over that line, especially when you have a child that's not, 18 years old, which is technically an adult, what you're doing is you're destroying that relationship. You just don't
Yeah.
realize.
Oh yeah. Yep. And now that child is probably so embarrassed and everyone is like sees them, for graduation, and not to mention just making it weird for everyone. Like that is so weird. I feel so bad for the superintendent.
Yeah, I mean, I give him credit. You know, they interviewed him, you know, in different shows afterwards, and he's like, you know, I just don't understand why he did this. You know, I tip my hat off. I don't think I could have been that calm personally, but you know, hey.
Right. But if like, if you're living in a world where you don't wanna shake someone's hand, like, because they're different, it's just I can't even imagine, like, I don't know, that's just so weird to me.
Oh yeah, and you know, my thing's like this. You know, you can say whatever you want to me. You know, even if you piss me off, whatever. But if you want to see me go from 0 to 100, put your hands on me. My thing is,
Yeah.
you know, I don't touch you, you don't touch me. You keep your hands to yourself.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly, and, like, he could have almost maneuvered it and just been like, "Hey, let's, like, Air 5 everyone," or, but the dad, like, could have said, "If you don't wanna shake anyone's hand, you don't have to," like, not even from a race thing, just from, like, a touching thing, but, yeah, getting up and manhandling someone, it's like, that's a lot worse than like, you're touching the person still, so, yeah, that's I can't even imagine how that must feel, and that's crazy.
Yeah, and you know the sad part is that if it was a bullying thing, I would think that you would address that before graduation.
Yeah.
That's
Yes, not
why
on
I
stage.
call that bullying excuse that he gave is BS. That's bullshit.
Yeah. I feel
You
like
know.
people take liberties at graduations to kind of, like, have their final moment or, like, have these big things when it's like, just get off the stage. No one wants to see you. Shake everyone's hand. Like, the process should go quickly and it shouldn't be everyone, like, saying their piece on, like, what teacher wronged them or something.
Oh yeah, well you know a lot of high schools. Um, I don't know if they still do it or not, but I know at one time they stopped putting the diplomas in the cover because students found that hey, it's the last day I'm graduating. Let me have some fun. You know? So the way
Yeah.
to stop that is to don't put that diploma in there until after you graduate. Make sure you know.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
So I don't know if they started back putting it in there, but for a time they purposely didn't put it in there just in case. You know.
Wow. Yeah, and if it was a race thing, the fact that that man has to, like, live in a world where you don't wanna shake someone's hand is just, like, a completely different planet to me.
Yeah. I mean, whether he likes it or not, the United States is a melting pot.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't care what state you're in. I don't care what town you're in. Guess what? There's minorities there.
100%, and if you don't accept it or like it or anything, you are, like, living the worst version of your life out possible, you know what I mean? Like, then you're living, like, a horrible existence that you don't need to.
That is true. That is true. But um, hopefully, he learned something from this.
Yep.
And like I said, my hat is tipped off to the superintendent for keeping his cool. And
Yes.
and you know he could have said a lot of things in his interviews, but he didn't. He remained very professional, very
Really?
focused. Yeah, and I tip my hat off to him. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah. Good for
I don't
him.
think I could have done that, you know. But hey, I tip my hat off.
We would have found the person flying across the
Yeah, I can apologize afterwards. Like I said, I'm a big fan. Just don't. You can say whatever you want to me, whatever. I'll let that go down my back. Just don't touch me.
I know. I agree when like, yeah, touching someone when they don't want it. I mean, as we talked about earlier today, is just the biggest, like, violation, and especially if
Mhm.
you're touching in a way that's like you don't like, why would that man think he has the power to move you around and, like,
Mhm.
that's just so weird.
Yeah. Wow. This hour is
Powerful.
fast.
We came up with a dating concept, we came up with the Flavor Flav marketing plan, we solved world peace.
Hey, we're giving back to the world. What can I say, Merle?
Exactly, yeah. We are.
Well, everyone, thank you for watching. Remember to have those thirsty conversations. And Merle, do you have anything coming up?
Yes, if anyone is in the Los Angeles area, I have a really, really fun show on Friday, at the Hollywood Improv, and I'm doing it's like like horror themed, and I'm going to be a witch, and I'm doing like a skit with a friend where we're going to be doing a talk show as witches. So it's
Nice.
actually very funny. It's either gonna be like it's either gonna hit well and be funny, or it's gonna be so cringy and embarrassing, but it will still be funny. So either way, we're gonna win. So yeah.
Nice, nice. And also for our Spoon fans out there listening,
Yep. Oh, yep, yep. We love Spoon. So I'm just Meryl Climo. My name Meryl. I'm Climo on Spoon, and I'm live Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And this is my highlight of when I get to spoon with you. That sounds
thank
weird, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Sounds like we're flavor flaving, but yeah.
there you go. Well,
This was
everyone,
so
have a
fun.
great day, and thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.